Okay, guys. Hello and welcome to the Brightson podcast episode one. The only reason why this little filler's inside the beginning is because I know that you guys expected the podcast for Friday. Unfortunately, I did not release it on Friday because I was being typically lazy and yeah, I had some smaller things to do. But regardless, the main reason was laziness. So it will be released by the time you guys are watching it. It's probably Saturday or Sunday. No, Saturday. Sorry, Saturday morning, evening. It will be released on Saturday. And I'm sorry for not releasing the podcast on Friday, but enjoy the rest of the podcast, guys. Thank you. Okay, guys. Hello, welcome to the Brightson podcast. My name is Tainted Souls. It's been a year. It actually has been a year, and this is season two, the beginning. So it only sounds right that after a year we start off with a bang, and we bring on one of the best content creators within the genre, Northwind, the Northern Frontier previous game. Can I have a introduction to LuisManChelo? LuisManChelo, how welcome to the podcast.
Thank you by giving me an invitation to this big podcast.
No worries, man. I mean, I'll keep it straight with you. You're from what I've seen you've done and everybody else in this community, I'm pretty sure they're familiar with your name. Even though you may have not released content, I'm pretty sure you're working on some content. I'll ask you later. Regardless, you're a very big content creator in this community. So whatever you want to talk about, man, it's up to you. The whole stage is the whole stage is there for you. All right. So
Yep.
I mean, of course, this is the first question that everybody's going to ask. Are you working on anything at the moment for Northwind? That is the main question.
Yeah. So can I answer
Please do elaborate as much as you want.
now? Okay. So again, thank you by inviting me to the podcast and
problem.
welcome Norwin to this new podcast of season two. First of all, I am LuisManChelo, as I was already presented. I am from Panama. My English knowledge is kind of whack, so you are gonna hear a lot of.
I can barely understand accents, and I can very clearly understand you. So you're doing great, man. Continue.
Okay, thank you. So yeah, as I was saying, my English knowledge is like medium. Knowledge is not the best English you are gonna hear in a while, I guess. So yeah, answering your question about am I doing a current project? Yes, I am. In fact, it is Crew Winter's main release. I hope it's gonna be like on January, maybe late February, but it's gonna be too long. Depends on how much I need to work. Of course, I am not the best editor in the world, but I try to make my best. I have low resources, not like low resources like a very small house or something like that. I mean low resources like my laptop. My laptop is just 6 years old, and it's the best. How can I say? It's the best tool I have for my editing. So basically, as you were asking, yeah, Crew Winter is my main project, and it will probably be the last. You know, why the last? I am.
Yeah. Why?
How can I say?
Go ahead, man. I'm
so
curious.
Basically, Crew Winter is a very stressing project. Even if it's not gonna be the best, it's not gonna be the biggest project, maybe, I guess, but it's very stressing. It's all made by me.
Yeah.
Really? I made the recording. Yeah.
So
I made the recording.
There's no production staff behind it, because I always thought there'd be a production staff behind it. Someone like doing this, someone doing that, not just one person doing everything.
Yeah, basically, let me summarize. I do the recording. I made the script. I made the, how can I say, the dialogues alone. Even it may have some grammar issues, so I'm probably gonna ask for some help in the future when it's like done. But that's just part of time. We need to wait. So as I was saying, the script, the recording, the directing, the editing, everything is done by me, except certain things like marketing, like GFX.
Yeah.
They are done by my big friend DOLV.
Yep.
He's probably very known in the OTNF community.
Yep.
Yeah, Dio.
His GFX are amazing. Yeah, I've seen them. He's done some for me as well for the Brightson podcast. Yep.
Well, basically, he's like my main route of marketing because he's very good at GFX. I have common communication with him, and we constantly speak about either retarded things or actual serious business.
Yeah.
And well, considering he's like a very trusted friend of mine in this project, he does all of it for free because
Oh.
this is a voluntary project again. If hypothetically got any money from it,
Yep.
like from True Winter's main release, I would actually donate it to charity. I don't really like to make profit out of this. Maybe donations for myself, like a few dollars, but that's just too far away. I would just like request some money for charity, but I'm still thinking about it. It's not like a solid answer about begging for money and then donating it to charity. So yeah, True Winter is my main project. It will probably be my final project because uh, college in real life it's struggling me,
Yeah.
and uh, other things are struggling my free time, and I'm probably gonna retire when True Winter is released.
Yeah, I mean, I'll keep it real with you. You've definitely put a lot of effort into your Winter entire production of Cruel Winter.
Yep.
Like I mean, and because you've put so much effort into it, the outcome is just you've racked up quite a lot of views within this genre. I mean, one of your videos I'm looking at right now, your popular videos, is 17,000 views. Of course, it's a recruitment video, but regardless, it still shows how much you do. The rest of your videos still have thousands of views, racking up thousands of views, and to be honest, it's very surprising because these are just the trailers. These aren't the actual releases of Cruel Winter, and
Oh, correct.
I'm out here thinking as a viewer, this guy is definitely put a lot of things behind it, and then it just clicks at some point where you're like, is he gonna release another another potential for Northwind? Possibly, maybe not. Yes, I hope so. So that's really why I was asking the question, because a lot of people are very, very intrigued. Because Northwind, I mean, Cruel Winter's like it's like a series, right? So
It is a
people,
film. It is a film. It's not a
yeah.
series.
All right, sorry. So it's like a film.
No
So
worries.
people see the trailer and they're like, when will the rest be released? When will this be released? It hypes people up, and that is correct marketing. But it's like the question is you don't want it to stop. So at some point you got to ask and you got to say, are you going to release something in Northwind? Are you going to release something for this game? Are you going to release something in not? Are you going to continue or are you going to stop? Is the question.
Okay, so basically, uh, okay, so let's summarize things part by part. So yeah, I have been like a very influential um, figure in TNF, both TNF and
Yeah,
Norway for almost 3 years, if
100%.
I count the old TNF days. And I can say, how can I explain it?
Yeah,
Mm,
you've been a prominent figure in the Northern Frontier community, the genre, the Northwind. So the main question was if you're going to continue something in Northwind. And to be honest, I'm very kind of I mean, I'm surprised that. I mean, I'm not too surprised, but at the same time, I'm surprised that you're actually currently making something. I thought it'd be later on within the year, considering how long these things take to make. But for it to come out in January, I mean, I'm not gonna put something against you and say it better come out in January. But if it does come out in January, hopefully, I'm excited.
mhm.
I'm very excited. I'm backing it 100%. Like that's something that comes out. Maybe you wouldn't expect it to come out that early. You'd expect production to start later on in the year once everything's made and whatnot. But yeah, man, that was just one of the main questions that people wanted to know. When is the next Cruel Winter coming out?
Yeah, the next True Winter content video. Okay, so
Yeah.
here's my set of ideas. The first ones should be like clarifying certain things. Crew Winter in TNF, Crew Winter in TNF was used as a concept uh, of trailers. How can I explain it?
Yeah.
So have you seen those type of trailers, or are just teasers or concept,
Yeah.
and then the main content is modified? Well, it's the same thing in TNF.
Hmm.
TNF was used uh, for a bunch of concepts. Many things in the final product will be changed, including main character's look. A
Yeah.
few things will be modified, moved, certain colors, the haircuts, etc. Those things are changed. Second thing, TNF does not relate to Norway's final release. So
Yeah.
let me explain. There won't be any footage from TNF in True Winter's final release because it doesn't make any sense to combine two
Yeah.
games. It's just, as I said, it's just a concept. TNF was just a concept. Norway is actually the final release. And considering Norway is, the game itself is very polished. Of
Yeah.
course, there are many things that correlate with the production of the film, but I'm very excited of finishing this film. Now, as you said, my next big move, to be honest, after True Winter, I'll finally retire because I mean it sounds very bad, but to be honest, I have really bad things to. I mean, bad things in my life, and
Yeah, that's
well,
understandable. And
yeah,
obviously, things like Cruel Winter, they take a lot of time, a lot of production
yeah,
to
it takes a lot
release.
of time.
Yeah, man.
That includes my school and future college,
Yeah.
etc. Even my work. So
You have to set your priorities straight, even though it's something that you're quite passionate about. Am I right?
exactly, maybe this is a message for most of you viewers and listeners. I'm pretty sure that was the word. Sorry.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so even if your project might be the biggest in the community, maybe not in the world, because there are many things in this world are pretty much bigger than yours. Try to not give up. You always face a lot of issues,
Yeah.
correlations, problems, even haters, and it's not like some type of bitch saying like fuck haters. Yeah, you can screw off, but they will eventually come affect your performance, and that's what they want to affect you. So mainly in this world, especially now within the quarantine and main pandemic, we are so struggling today, and we must probably sit on in front of our computer screens every day. You must move on. Do not like focus on them. Maybe focus a bunch of seconds, and then the rest of your time try to spend it on what you want. Look at me. I have faced a lot of shit in this community. Considering I'm a main figure, not because I'm egocentric. It's because it's the truth. Okay. Even Dante in back in the days from TNF used to like feature my videos. My last TNF video was featured in the Northern Frontier's main server. If some of you may remember that, and that was sort of criticized. Of course, it was gonna bring a lot of nostalgia and a lot of hate during those times when Norway was very hated. When the game released, like Norway itself, I really liked it. Of course, it had a lot of problems, including performance, and that affected a lot of my recordings, especially because, as I said before, my computer is not the best. It's just a potato laptop. It doesn't really run the game properly, and I must record on low graphics. But I still move on. Okay, you might expect people like, why didn't you record it on TNF afterwards? Because you must have a very bright mindset. It's not saying I have the best mindset of everyone from the rest, but to be honest, the game was gonna eventually die.
Yeah.
And everyone was gonna move to Norway. So for those who actually watched the 3 trailers, two of them, I mean two from 3 had at the end of the video a caption saying starting development in Redux Alpha. I'm pretty sure that was the name.
Yeah, which is now Northwind.
Correct. Redux equals Northwind. So my idea since July, I'm pretty sure it was July 1st, was about releasing the game on Norway because the game was gonna die.
Yeah,
I really.
What you want to do is you want to basically release it on a new demographic where you're able to expose as many viewers as possible, expose your content to as many people as possible. So there's no
Correct.
need to expose it to it sounds unfortunate, but a dying community, a dying gaming community at that time when there's a new
So
release.
okay, so basically, continuing what I was saying. First of all, if I try to continue the film itself, not the trailers, because those three trailers are actually show a lot of the film's potential progress. Do you imagine if I actually try to continue the film during these days when the game is literally dead? Not
Yeah, it'd
not
be
by saying
difficult.
it is dead for most of us, because there's people that is probably gonna enjoy it, and I respect that. But as long as they respect my opinion on doing the film and knowing, I will respect their opinion on playing a dead game. Okay, so do you mind if I tried to like I would have struggled a lot on bringing people, even if it's a simple game, because
Yeah,
recording on Norway is not that easy. The animations are more complex than before. The the sets are much more complex, and those must be like checked with details. For example, when I maybe many of you listeners probably remembered me when I said that I hated ghostly packs. I'm
yeah,
pretty sure that those were the names, or the exaggerations of pumpkin heads. I'm pretty sure those were the names. I hated them because they look so stupid for me. So it's the same thing in Norway, but it's a little more complex because we have white sets, black sets, brown sets, even blue sets, orange sets.
yeah,
All of them are really hard to like change, especially when an actor, basically a background actor, because main characters are probably like used to my to my way of directing and forcing
yeah.
people to change sets.
You're
But
able to convince
background
them.
actors, correct. Background actors will probably be like confused when they see while LuisManChelo trying to force them to change their heads and stuff. They'll probably suggest and discuss about okay, what if I use this and not this? I'll probably respect that, but I will have my points. Like for example, the setting on the scene. Maybe if my scenes are gonna be really simple, in my point of view, maybe for other viewers, the film itself is gonna look really complete and very entertaining, my bad, because that's the main point of a film, to be entertaining.
Yeah,
uh, they're probably gonna ask why this and not this, and basically because I'm pretty much a history nerd,
yeah.
but I really
That's
enjoy
fine.
history, basic history, because the game itself is not historically accurate, because that's how most people know me nowadays, the historically accurate kid. But to be honest, I must make it most authentic way possible as the time period applies.
Yeah,
For example, if I'm doing a scene with pirates, I'm not gonna put a fucking wolf hat on top of their heads. No, I'm probably gonna use beanies or
yeah,
or tricorn. My bad. Or tricorns. So that's, or they're not gonna use a lot of fur sets. However, they're gonna use home capes, because home capes look more like from the seas, or checkered shirts, or some sort of hunting tunics, but from the shorts. Okay, you get it. I'm trying to make it authentic as possible. Maybe not historically accurate, because making that
right.
will be a pain in the ass.
Lewis, just to cut
Yeah.
you there, we obviously I know that there are some restrictions on time, and I could talk forever personally, but there are some
Mhm.
restrictions on time. So I'm gonna ask you a couple more questions just before we do bring this podcast to an end. So
Sure.
within the previous content of Cruel Winter, and this is probably the last question I'm going to have about Cruel Winter. What a lot of people found fascinating was how you portrayed the HBC, the colonists, and the natives, and it was a battle for land, essentially, is from what I saw personally.
Hmm.
Regardless, people are questioning how will you perceive the HBC, Hudson's Bay Company, the vassals, the native tribes, Sioux, the other colonist tribes, the whole rivalry within Northwind, or are you, however much in depth you can go with that, please do, or as brief as you can make it, I don't mind, but just give a general outlook on how are you gonna construct the whole scene with the characters.
Okay, sure. So, as you said, I'll make it as brief as possible because I just realized I talk a lot.
No, it's fine.
Basically, the HVC, better name Hudson's Bay Company. It's not a military faction itself, but it's just carried by the British Empire.
Yeah.
So basically, the idea about the HVC trying to control the Fort Pelts trade system in Canada is the main point of the HVC in the film. However, they're probably carried by, of course, expert military technology from the British Empire. So they try to
best navy in the world.
Control the Fort Pelt system through the region. In this case, Quebec and other neighbor regions. This will obviously apply to affecting other civilians. In this case, colonists, the natives, French trappers, which
French fur
goes
trappers.
French fur trappers, which you probably referred to Alain Henderson, which is the main character of the film, and also involved to rebellions from other groups. For example, Irish rebels, which goes by the name of Oliver Farrell, which is a friend of Alain Henderson. There goes the film. So basically, about the tribes are not really represented here because it is very hard to make it all in a single film. But Sioux are probably the most featured tribes in the film. Why? Sioux in certain regions were really like very hostile against British and not French. Why? Because French used to treat them in a peaceful way. They actually had manners and they could trade pelts, etc. Okay, it's just based on historical authenticity.
Yes, so trade policies.
About basals or basals. I'm pretty sure I don't really know how to pronounce it. Sorry, they are not really represented in this film because of the fact that everybody just tries to survive. They're not like really allied to any faction except natives with French or certain high class.
So it's all for one and all for all, right? So it's like everybody's on their own in this.
Repeat the question. Sorry, I didn't.
Sorry. No, that was my fault. I was gonna say that it's so with this new film, basically everybody's gonna be on their own. It's gonna be three sides forming a triangle, and them all just battling out for control over the frontier. Am I right in saying that?
About that, it's not only that, but it's probably civilian aftermath. And when there's like a conflict between two sides, there's always gonna be victims, and that's where the story starts. And this is why Alain Henderson tries to look for revenge and actually know what happened with his uncle, which is basically the main morale boost of the film. Okay, so there goes a lot of characters, basically 6 main characters, which is Alain Henderson including, and the rest. Well, basically it's like a tree. It has a lot of roots.
Yeah. All right. Well, to be honest, the more I mean, to be honest, I don't even know too much about this before we even started the video podcast, but it definitely sounds very, very interesting, and I can't wait, and I'm sure like all the viewers in this that are tuning into the podcast, they can't wait either. And this entire Cruel Winter sounds very interesting. But one last question before I do put this podcast to an end is so what is your view? What is your reaction to the way Northwind is developing as of now, as this is currently the season where we're relating it to Northwind?
Okay, so you mean the game itself?
Yeah, how do you think the game is progressing?
Okay, the game itself is really good. Of course, there are a few things that may be involving not only Fred, but the rest of the developers and admins, which actually affect the game's 1, performance, and 2, progress. It's possible that many of you are probably understanding my reference, but mainly because of the sudden between quotation bias of the HVC and the developers are probably affecting the game's reputation and community. Now, what's my opinion about it? It depends on the topic. There are a few things that I certainly agree on, that they're probably like feeling like making some bias on top of the HVC, but it's just part of the games. You will always pick a side. You'll always pick good things and bad things.
Yeah.
I heard about a new naval update, and that's what Fred has been
Working
like
on.
featuring. Yeah, correct. Working on it. It includes naval ships, new type of tidal waves, I'm pretty sure, and more. I really agree on the expansion of the games region, because Quebec itself is really small, and it will be pain in the ass to expand the actual map region.
Yeah,
So I
map.
actually agree on, first, the islands, second, the new ways of traveling, like ships, and maybe number 3, cannons,
Oh,
ship cannons.
yeah,
That would actually be really cool, and I actually like that, and it's really authentic to the time period. So that's a plus point for me.
definitely, man. All right. Well, that's been this entire episode with LuisManChelo. Lewis,
Mhm.
I really do appreciate you coming on the first episode of the Brightson podcast, and
Yep.
I'm looking forward to Cool Winter, as everyone else in this view, everyone else, all the listeners are also looking forward to, I am sure. Um, Not further ado, Lewis, I really do appreciate you coming on the podcast. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
That's it. Do you have anything else to say before this ends?
Yep. Well, as again, thank you by inviting me to the podcast once more. And well, everybody, Hell Crew Winter, Hell Crew Winter.
Yes, thank you guys. That's episode 1, Brightson Podcast 2, date 15/12/2020. Ended.